Why do intelligent people trade the future for a few minutes of relief? They know consequences exist. They have seen the reports. They can explain long-term thinking in impressive language. Then pressure narrows the world. The deadline becomes real. The future becomes theoretical. And a decision that would look reckless from 6 months away begins to feel like the only responsible thing to do by Friday. Lumen needed $4 million before the quarter closed. North Star Insurance offered 5. The difference between rescue and surrender was hidden on page 37. Hi, I'm Sarah, and this is Wise Mind Stories. In this episode, you will learn how the present moment distorts importance, why solving today's pain can quietly manufacture tomorrow's crisis, and how to examine a decision beyond the first consequence your mind wants to see. North Star did not want to buy Lumen. It wanted a 3-year partnership. Lumen's care coordination tools would be offered to policyholders. In return, Lumen would receive distribution, stability, and enough revenue to end the board's panic. Adrian called it transformational. Marcus, the finance director, called it oxygen. Maya called it too fast. The contract allowed North Star to receive aggregated engagement data, which tools families used, when care tasks were missed, which educational resources people opened, and how frequently a family changed a medication record. No names, no direct medical records. Legal counsel said the structure could be made compliant. Lena asked a different question. Could an insurer use the patterns to classify what kind of family someone belongs to? North Star's representative smiled. The purpose is population health. That isn't an answer. Adrian closed the contract. We have 12 days. Let's separate imaginable misuse from probable use. It sounded practical. But probability is difficult to judge when the people receiving the benefit today are not the people carrying the risk tomorrow. Robert Greene's law of short-sightedness describes our attraction to what is vivid, immediate, and emotionally charged. The latest result, the loudest crisis, the opportunity directly in front of us, these seize attention. Larger patterns, delayed costs, and second-order effects remain quiet. The present has sensory weight. The future arrives as an idea. Urgency makes the nearest consequence look like the only consequence. Maya built a risk memo. The partnership could alter user trust, shape future product choices, and make Lumen dependent on one corporate customer. If families began to perceive the app as an extension of insurance surveillance, the brand might never recover. Marcus did not dispute the analysis. He placed a different document beside it. Without the contract, Lumen would freeze hiring immediately and likely eliminate 32 positions within 8 weeks. Those consequences had names: Priya at reception, Ben in analytics, a customer support specialist expecting a baby. The long term grew quieter. Greene uses moments of financial mania, including the South Sea bubble, to show how collective excitement compresses time. In early 18th century Britain, promises of vast future trade helped drive speculative demand for South Sea Company shares. Rising prices became proof that the story was true. Immediate gains silenced questions about the underlying business. When the bubble collapsed, the distant risk arrived all at once. The pattern repeats beyond markets. A dramatic present creates ticker tape fever. We monitor every update. We react to the newest signal. Movement feels like intelligence, while patience feels negligent. In Lumen's office, the contract countdown appeared on the leadership channel each morning. 10 days to close. 9. 8. Maya began negotiating individual clauses instead of questioning the direction. She won tighter deletion language. She reduced the data window. She secured an independent review. Each small victory made the contract feel more acceptable. She had entered what Greene calls tactical hell, so much attention devoted to winning the immediate battle that the reason for fighting disappears. A strategy can survive a lost battle. A person without a strategy turns every battle into survival. At home, Daniel found Maya at the table highlighting page 37. "What happens if you don't sign?" he asked. "People lose jobs. What happens if you do?" "Maybe nothing. Maybe the agreement works exactly as promised." "That isn't what I asked." Maya looked at him. Daniel said, "You keep describing one future like it's real, and the other like it's anxiety." The sentence irritated her because it was accurate. She returned to the contract. On day 6, a smaller clinic consortium offered to expand Lumen's pilot. The revenue was modest, but the clinics were willing to pay for a version built around strict local control of data. The model could become sustainable in 18 months. Adrian dismissed it in 6 minutes. "We will not survive 18 months by worshipping 18 months." North Star increased its offer to $6 million on the condition that Lumen sign before the end of the week. Scarcity met urgency. The leadership team approved. Maya abstained. Then Adrian asked her to sign as product owner. "The board needs operational unity," he said. "If you refuse, it signals that we cannot execute the deal." Maya thought about the 32 jobs, the clinic already suspended, the feature campaign already paused, her credibility already weakened. She signed. For 48 hours, relief moved through Lumen like weather after a storm. Adrian opened champagne. Hiring continued. The investor meeting disappeared from the calendar. Theo posted a congratulatory note, though his contract remained suspended. Maya slept through the night for the first time in weeks. Then a caregiver on Lumen's research panel recognized North Star's name in a partner announcement. She asked whether usage data would go to the insurer. Lumen answered truthfully. Only aggregated, de-identified engagement data under strict governance. The caregiver posted the answer. Within a day, families were asking whether missed tasks could affect premiums, whether a change in medication could mark a household as risky, whether opting out would reduce access to features. The contract prohibited individual underwriting use. But trust does not wait for a legal memo. The clinic consortium withdrew its expansion offer. The original pilot clinic announced that it would not return. North Star had solved Lumen's cash crisis. It had also changed the question people asked when they opened the app from, "Can this help my family?" to, "Who else is watching?" The emotional reversal was cruel because the benefit was real. Maya had preserved 32 jobs. She had not made a foolish choice for nothing. She had made a partial choice, as if it were complete. Short-sightedness is not failing to see the future. It is discounting every future that cannot shout. Greene offers several warning signs. Unintended consequences appear when we act on a simplified cause and effect story. Tactical hell appears when conflicts multiply and winning replaces purpose. Ticker tape fever appears when updates make reflection feel impossible. And getting lost in trivia appears when details overwhelm any hierarchy of values. The answer is elevation. Step outside the heat, widen the frame, ask what chain of reactions the choice may begin. Build a hierarchy of what matters, so that urgent details cannot silently replace the goal. Maya returned to the original product brief from 18 months earlier. The first line read, "Families deserve coordination without surrendering dignity." She had preserved coordination. She had treated dignity as a clause. At the next board meeting, Maya did not propose canceling the contract. That would trigger penalties Lumen could not survive. She proposed a structural redesign, a separate data trust, clinic and caregiver seats on its governing body, public reporting of every data field shared, and a product-level opt-out that would not reduce functionality. It would cost money. Northstar might resist. The board might reject it. But for the first time, Maya was measuring the solution across more than one deadline. She called Lena before presenting it. I need you to find the consequences I am still motivated not to see. Lena remained quiet. Are you asking for research? She said. Or absolution? Research. And if I argue too quickly, stop the meeting. That was progress. Not because Maya had become far-sighted, because she had finally given someone permission to protect the future from her present mood. Before the next board meeting, Maya ran the North Star agreement through a pre-mortem. Imagine it is 2 years later, and the partnership has damaged Lumen beyond repair. What happened? The team produced answers no single forecast had contained. North Star might not misuse data directly, but Lumen could gradually design features around the insurer's reporting priorities. Families might self-censor even if the legal protections were perfect. A future acquisition could change the incentives of both companies. Staff hired under the partnership could become dependent on its continuation, making every later boundary economically harder. Then Maya reversed the exercise. Imagine it is 2 years later, and the partnership became a model of responsible collaboration. What made that possible? Independent governance, visible consent, revenue diversity, a clear product constitution, the ability to exit without collapsing the company. Farsightedness was not pessimism. It made room for both failure and success to have structure. Greene urges us to treat time as an ally. Slow down when the atmosphere demands speed. Look for the larger trend beneath the latest update. Reduce the number of battles so the central objective becomes visible again. The long view can feel less dramatic because it refuses the chemical reward of immediate reaction. Maya also examined her own calendar. She had 7 recurring meetings designed during prior emergencies. Each continued because no one had challenged its existence. 2 weekly status reports measured activity that no current decision used. Short-sightedness lived not only in major contracts, it lived in accumulated urgency, the 1,000 small commitments that prevented anyone from raising their eyes. She canceled 3 meetings and replaced the daily launch dashboard with a weekly review tied to 4 long-term measures: family trust, repeated use, clinic retention, and revenue concentration. The change felt almost too small beside the contract. But perspective is built through systems that repeatedly return attention to what matters. The practice for today is the third-order page. For one meaningful decision, draw 3 columns. In the first, write, what happens immediately? In the second, what is likely to happen because of that? In the third, what new behavior, dependency, expectation, or risk could that second consequence create? Then write the value you refuse to trade, even under pressure. The exercise will not predict the future. It will force the future to have a voice in the room. I'm Sarah, and this is Wise Mind Stories. Subscribe if you want to keep moving through this season with Maya. She has a plan that could repair part of the damage. But a plan is not influence. The board members believe they are protecting the company. Northstar believes it has earned access. Adrian believes decisive leadership saved 32 jobs. If Maya walks into the room and proves them wrong, every person there may become more committed to resisting her. Next episode, teaser. Maya has built a better proposal, but facts do not enter an empty room. They enter identities. If she makes the board feel controlled, foolish, or morally accused, the very strength of her evidence may become the reason they refuse to move.